A soggy cold Wednesday, but the good news, we're still at Belmont Park. It's the Final Five closing weekend, or closing week underway on a chilly, blustery, overcast, dark Wednesday at the Big B. Richard Migliore, Jason Blewett alongside. We hope to warm everybody up on this edition of Belmont Insider. What's it like when you're riding, when you're competing on days like today?
Well, it's when it's genuinely work. On nice days, on nice horses, it doesn't feel like work. On days like this, you really earn your pay between the conditions on the racetrack, the mud in your face, changing goggles. It's cold, your reins get slippery, your hands freeze up. These guys really earn their money today.
A soupy Wednesday here at Belmont. We thank the horses, though, for running through this stuff all day, and it was a day everybody stayed safe and sound. The assistant starters as well, who do a great job, and they've already got that starting gate set up for morning training tomorrow here, way down and way back there on the chute.
Yeah, most likely nobody will be doing any speed works out of the gate tomorrow, but still a lot of standing and backing out, getting horses familiar with the confines of the iron monster, so to speak. So it never stops. The training goes on regardless of the conditions, pretty much.
Now, you talked about earning your pay, and speaking of big money and big paydays, Breeders' Cup 31, are you ready? Week and a half out, Santa Anita for the third consecutive year. Pre-entries were taken today, a record 201 horses, including 38 from overseas, and that also includes Magician and Dank, who are defending winners. And we are just so excited about Breeders' Cup 31. You're going out to the West Coast, and the gem and the centerpiece of the event, the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. 15 pre-entered, including Shared Belief.
Well, the Breeders' Cup Classic is so important on so many fronts, and there's the obvious. There's the purse, there's the prestige. But this year, there are championships hanging in the balance, and if Shared Belief was to win the Breeders' Cup Classic, not only are you going to see your 3-year-old champion, you're going to see your horse of the year.
Yeah, absolutely, but that goes for California Chrome, that goes for Tonalist, and really looking at the pre-entered list for the Classic, it's all about the 3-year-olds, which is great, and it's kind of a bummer as well when you think about all the top older handicap horses that began the year who have just fallen by the wayside.
Yeah, it started out the year with so much promise and so much depth in that older handicap division, and one by one they went by the wayside, but the 3-year-olds have really stepped to the fore, and that is what the story's about. But it also has Breeders' Cup ramifications, or I should say championship ramifications. If none of those horses were to win, and some surprise was to win the Classic, and Main Sequence was to win the Turf, suddenly Main Sequence is a major player for Horse of the Year.
And of the Americans, it looks like he's the most accomplished going in Main Sequence. We'll go back. We'll take a look at his Joe Hirsch Turf Classic victory here in late September. Graham Ocean's done an outstanding job, and he will run against an international cast once again, including the Breeders' Cup Turf defending winner, Magician.
Well, he's 3 for 3 since coming to this country, 3 grade 1s. He's got a couple of negatives going to the Classic. Obviously, he loses Rajiv Mirage, who, this is a tricky horse. He's got some gait habits. He's a little bit funny when he hits the front. He wants to pull up. Well, Rajiv Mirage has fit him to a T, and he announced earlier in the week that he's not going to be able to make the Breeders' Cup after breaking his arm here in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. So now he's going to get a new pilot, and of course he's going to get a good pilot. Somebody, I heard Johnny Velasquez is probably the favorite to ride him, but he doesn't know him, and he doesn't have that intimate knowledge of some of his quirks, and that could be problematic.
Well, John Velasquez, somebody that was aboard, speaking of jockey injuries, Rosina Pravnik was on the sidelines for a bit going back to the early summer, and Johnny V was aboard, in fact, at 1-9. Untappable, the 3-year-old monster in the Mother Goose, and she's one of a dozen, in fact, pre-entered in the $2 million Breeders' Cup Distaff, a race that lost a likely favorite just a few days ago in Beholder. Looks like this filly, by Tappet, will vie with closed hatches for favoritism.
And Untappable has been just superb all year long, other than the Haskell, and she had a tough trip, and she wasn't going to beat Bayern under any conditions that particular day. She has done nothing wrong, and I don't think you can make a case for her for Horse of the Year, but I think she's pretty much got a wrap-around 3-year-old filly champion.
Yeah, but she can certainly garner up another major grade 1 and the winner's share of that $2 million purse, and depending upon what happens, maybe throw her hat in the ring for a potential Horse of the Year title. She'd need a lot of chaos to go on. I don't think it's completely out of the realm, though.
No, I don't think it's out of the question, but everything's going to have to go right for her, and a lot of disarray is going to happen in some of the other divisions for that to happen, but certainly she has basically wrapped up 3-year-old filly champion.
Well, it's nice getting that international participation. We'll look forward to your work on HRTV over the next week and a half. In fact, this is your swan song here on Belmont Insider. We'll have Maggie throughout the next 4 days before we pack up shop and head over the Big A just a week from today. So have a great trip. We'll enjoy this show, and let's get to it. 9 races, sloppy track, sealed main all afternoon. Flowers, well, they got plenty of water today, that is for sure. It rained pretty much nonstop. High wind gusts of around 30 miles an hour. But the voice of Belmont will warm us up and make us happy. It's John and Brielle. Here they are out of the gate in race 6.
Well, that he trails the field. From the outside post, it's One More Chief going for the lead, and One More Chief has cleared the field and is in front by a length and a half over Futurazzo. Caleb's Survivor is racing in third. The Spotted Wonder is next in fourth. Wild Night at the Opera runs in fifth. A break of 2.5 to Chris and Laurie's Posse in sixth. Then 4 lengths to Jack Sir Wild, who has 1 horse beaten, and that's Jesse's Giant Dunk. The opening quarter mile in the slop in 22 4/5 seconds. One More Chief is the leader here. It's One More Chief by a length and a half. Futurazzo in second by a head. Caleb's a Survivor on the outside in third by a length and a half. Then the gray, the Spotted Wonder, running in fourth. It's another 2 to Wild Night at the Opera in fifth. Farther back, it's Chris and Laurie's Posse, Jesse's Giant Dunk, and Jack Sir Wild. And there's 3 furlongs to the finish, and One More Chief is in front by almost 3 lengths. Futurazzo, Caleb's a Survivor. The Spotted Wonder is down at the rail. Then Wild Night at the Opera and Jesse's Giant Dunk. They're at the head of the stretch, the half in 46 1. One More Chief has been in front right from the start. Continues to lead here. The Spotted Wonder getting closer now. And on the outside, it's Wild Night at the Opera. One More Chief. The Spotted Wonder. Racing erratically there in the stretch is Wild Night at the Opera, but Wild Night at the Opera is coming on, and Wild Night at the Opera has taken the lead and wins it. Wasn't a straight path to the finish line, but he got the job done. Wild Night at the Opera, the winner.
Right up off the maiden win is Wild Night at the Opera. Paradox, the way he is named. I don't know if there is such a thing as a Wild Night at the Opera. What does it say, though, Mig, for this horse being able to stretch out off his maiden win in the mud?
Well, it's a tough thing. Not only is he facing winners for the first time, he's stretching out to a distance he hasn't run before, and he ran greenly through the lane. He actually ducked out pretty sharply coming to the wire. We saw a horse the other day jump the mirror image. This horse kind of, I believe, spotted it. Watch his head. He's going to cock his head to the inside and really duck out there. You can see Joel Rosario's hands kind of come off the mane a bit, trying to correct him. And, you know, this is something you got to pay attention to. This is a horse, obviously, with a lot of ability because he's just making the lead, and he's still got the presence of mind to look around. Makes you feel like there's a little more in the tank.
Absolutely, for Mark Hennig, who brings his horses along slowly but steady, and he's got a decent little New York bred here for owner breeder Camellia Caspi, who of the horses she breeds, I gotta say, she's bred some okay horses. Law Enforcement's one that sticks out in my mind, but this one a gelding by Awfully Wild, and in fact, Joel would come back with Mark Hennig a bit later in the day, race number 8, with Quantos as a big favorite. We'll see how that horse did after we get them in the gate and to the finish line in Wednesday's 7th. And off the turf, non-winners of one allowance, fillies and mares, and we go back to Johnny I.
Miss Melinda and Glacken's Gift. Those two go out for the lead. Glacken's Gift on the inside and Miss Melinda on the outside. They are heads apart. They've got 2 lengths on Love and Marriage, who's down on the inside in third. Then Get Gorgeous, Medaglia d'Argento is fifth. Glacken's Gift. And now in front here by 3/4 of a length over Miss Melinda, with Get Gorgeous racing on the outside in third. Love and Marriage towards the rail. Medaglia d'Argento is alongside. The quarter went in 24 seconds. Glacken's Gift shows the way here. Leads by almost a length. Miss Melinda's in between horses. Second by a half length. Get Gorgeous is on the outside in third. Then Love and Marriage in fourth, and Medaglia d'Argento. So positions are unchanged as they approach the far turn. Opening half mile, 48 seconds. Glacken's Gift, the 6-5 favorite, in front, midway around the far turn. It's Glacken's Gift by a half length. In between horses, Miss Melinda, and Get Gorgeous is on the outside. Get Gorgeous now Moving up, along with Miss Melinda to challenge Glacken's Gift for the lead. It's Miss Melinda in between, Glacken's Gift down on the inside, and Get Gorgeous on the outside. Love and Marriage now swings to the outside. And Medaglia d'Argento, 3/4 in 1:12 and 3. The field is in the stretch, and it's Miss Melinda and Get Gorgeous. Those two are heads apart. Then Love and Marriage. Glacken's Gift has dropped out of it. Medaglia d'Argento with a 16 to the wire now. It's Get Gorgeous, and here's Love and Marriage on the outside. Get Gorgeous, Love and Marriage. It's going to be tight, too tight to call. Love and Marriage on the outside. Might have gotten her nose there first, but she's in a photo with Get Gorgeous.
Couple of close ones thus far on the main. I know this one was off the turf, but a good battle down to the wire between Get Gorgeous and Love and Marriage, who just quite simply would not be denied.
Now, Love and Marriage, first time on the dirt for Chad Brown, and Joel Rosario getting his second win of the day. And it seems like when Joel's going good, he wins these close ones. Right? He seems to know where the wire is, get the horse's nose down in front. This filly really handled the going well, and makes you wonder if they won't even consider trying her back on the dirt.
Yeah, and she's only running for the third time today. And, you know, you talk about another guy that does just, an uncanny job at bringing his horses along at a slow and steady but professional pace in Chad Brown, who at the time when Love and Marriage crossed the finish line was winning his second on the afternoon. And a guy, you had noted it here on Sunday. I mean, there's been no post-Saratoga hangover with his operation whatsoever.
Now, it's a very difficult thing to do, to keep your stable running at that level, because you're going to get horses that are going to get tired, maybe get injured. Plus, they're going to run through conditions, and it gets tougher. Every time they win a race, they got to step up to a little tougher company. Well, it doesn't seem like he's had any lull whatsoever. He continues on that torrid pace.
And a whole bunch of horses for Chad pre-entered in the Breeders' Cup more than any other trainer. He will look to build upon over $11 million at this point nationally in Money One. As we take a little rest on a chilly, you want to go inside and warm up, my friend?
No, I'm good. I just hope we have an indoor set at Aqueduct.
We'll be on the roof all winter. We'll take a little time out. Stay tuned. Plenty more coming your way.
Now's the time to sign up for a Naira Rewards account with our new Bet 100, Get 100 bonus. We want to deposit $100 into the accounts of new signups during the Belmont Fall Championship meet. Just enroll, bet $100, and you'll receive $100 in your account the next day. It's that easy. Plus, new signups can access the brand new Naira HD app and watch live streaming races on their smartphones. Sign up today on track or at NairaRewards.com.
Cold, rainy, and gray. It's amazing how fast this fall meet has gone. It opened Friday, September 5th. Feels like it was Labor Day on a humid Monday, September 1st up at the Spa, but we are ready. We've got Aqueduct, the Big A, in our sights, and we'll be over there for opening day next Wednesday. Of course, Breeders' Cup Friday and Saturday. More information available online. A $10,000 buy-in, a big buy-in, but it's a live money contest. Yeah, you can win a whole pile of money, that's for sure, if you finish in the top 3 or so. Information, the sign-up available at that web address. No better place to watch the Breeders' Cup than at Aqueduct with fellow racing fans. But, Mig, this is a meet that's flown by. What is your favorite moment of this fall championship season?
It's always so tough for me to come up with one, because right away I start going through like just freeze frames of great moments here. But if I had to pinpoint one, I'm going to say Tonalist Jockey Club Gold Cup, a race marred by an accident. Unfortunately, Rajiv Mirage was injured in the race. But Tonalist's run and the way he changed up his style, kind of coming from further off the pace, the blinkers off, and done an amazing training job by Christophe Clement. And I think Tonalist winning the Jockey Club Gold Cup will be it for me. What about you?
And a force to be reckoned with in the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Like you, the Gold Cup is near the top of the list. Off my head, I might pick Main Sequence in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. I've always liked these Flaxman horses, and I like Grand Motion and Rajiv Mirage. It's a bummer. It's a reality of the game losing him with that injury in the Gold Cup, but to see him go out in the race prior to that with a Grade 1 win aboard Main Sequence kind of sticks out in my mind. I hope that horse runs well in the BC Turf.
Yeah, I do too, and a good call. well, you know, Rajiv winning that race and kind of showing the form he was in, and then unfortunately right before he was injured.
Yeah, real microcosm of the season Raj has had. Let's move on to race number 8. In the meantime, New York bred set to go. Mark Hennig, Joel Rosario back in the mix. In fact, Joel looking to cap his own rolling pick 3 from the rail in the 1 Quantos as we go back to Johnny I.
And they're off. Billy the Bull is out for the lead. Half Nelson, the rhythm is right. Far outside, it's Sol Lefroy, and down at the rail, it is Quantos, who's racing in 5th. Wake Up in Malibu is next in 6th. Frost Jordan is 7th, and it's a break of 3 lengths back to Indy Tune, who trails the field in 8th. Billy the Bull has the lead over Half Nelson, so the Grays are 1-2 as they round the far turn. The quarter went in 22 seconds. Billy the Bull is opened up by 3. Half Nelson, and on the outside, it's a Sol Lefroy. Those two now closing in on Billy the Bull. Wake Up in Malibu is racing in 4th, followed by The Rhythm is Right and Quantos. They come off the turn and enter the stretch. Billy the Bull, Sol Lefroy on the outside. Half Nelson is in 3rd. Billy the Bull is still in front. Now Sol Lefroy moves to the inside of Billy the Bull. Billy the Bull holding the lead. Sol Lefroy down at the rail. It's Billy the Bull trying to pull off the upset here. And Billy the Bull, the Gray Bull, has won by 2. Sol Lefroy was 2nd. Wake Up in Malibu finished 3rd.
3 Grays winning races today, none bigger or at a bigger price than Billy the Bull. What does it say for 7-pound apprentice Israel Rodriguez in a race big, loaded with speed on paper, for him to outfoot everybody and just wire the field?
He took no prisoners, but I tell you what impressed me. Turned for home, pulled the stick through his left hand, got after him, switched right back to his right hand when the horse drifted a little bit. Doesn't finish like your typical 7-pound bug, and this is a kid we're going to hear a lot from, especially when we get over to Aqueduct.
How about Gary Gullo, who just seems to do a good job, 15% or better across the bat year in and year out?
He does a tremendous job. He's done a tremendous job with this horse, who did have a pedigree to say that he would like the mud. He went ahead and ran him. He got rewarded with a big price. But I like the whole Israel Rodriguez story, getting back to that. And his agent is doing a tremendous job putting this kid on the map. 7 pounds. He's got a big future in front of him.
All right, we have some slop in our future as we send it back to Johnny I. Sloppy 6 here on this chilly Wednesday.
3rd. 3/4 went in 1:11-4. Wavell Avenue. Rachel's Tepper on the outside. Wavell Avenue holding on to the lead. Rachel's Tepper driving in 2nd. Big break now. Back to Is She Hot? And time for Harlan. Wavell Avenue now gets clear from Rachel's Tepper. And it will be Wavell Avenue and Javier Castellano to take the opener by 3.5 lengths. Rachel's Tepper was 2nd. Is She Hot finished 3rd. Time for Harlan. Will complete takes the lead from Outer Orbit as they come into the stretch. Bartiromo narrowly. Here's a challenge now from Lady Doris on the outside. Lady Doris to the front with 1/8 of a mile to the finish. Lady Doris by 3 lengths. Then Bartiromo, Outer Orbit, and Queen of Zenile. Lady Doris draws away in the stretch to win by 8 lengths. Looked like Bartiromo did get 2nd. There'll be a photo with Outer Orbit and Queen of Zenile. Keen's Kupla on the outside and Ziggy Moondust towards the rail. Keen's Kupla's in front. Ziggy Moondust, Man of Mystery on the outside. Then Flat Lever in 4th. They pass the 8th pole. Keen's Kupla and Man of Mystery. Now it's those two, and now it's Man of Mystery to take the lead in deep stretch, and Man of Mystery will win going away at the end. A 3.5 length victory for Man of Mystery over Keen's Kupla with Ziggy Moondust in 3rd. As they come into the lane now, Bossy Saratoga ran a half in 46-1. Bossy Saratoga by 2 lengths. Lovely L in 2nd. Wraith has moved into 3rd. Still Bossy Saratoga, the one to catch. She's still there, and now she's in front by 3. Bossy Saratoga in the slop at Belmont. Won by 1.5 lengths. Wraith up for 2nd. Lovely L was 3rd. Farther back, Clean 11 finished 4th. Is 4th as they head for home. Political Farce and Greeley Pack. Those two right together for the lead as they come down for the 8th pole. Saltine Warrior is 3rd. Then King Get Again down towards the inside. It's Eternal Bull. Political Farce in front by 2 lengths. Saltine Warrior, one last try on the outside as they come for the wire. Political Farce takes it 3/4 of a length. Saltine Warrior was 2nd, 4 lengths to Greeley Pack in 3rd. Manhattan Gin, Queen to Be on the outside of Manhattan Gin. The two of them are right together with 1/8 of a mile to the finish. And now it's the favorite Queen to Be getting away from Manhattan Gin. Farther back, it's Miss Libby and Ocean Boulevard, and they're all chasing Queen to Be, who gives Javier Castellano his 3rd win on the card. Manhattan Gin was 2nd, then Ocean Boulevard and Tacones.
Queen to Be was the queen in the nightcap, the drop-down Pennsylvania bred. Actually, 2 people got live to her in the pick 6. I think Billy the Bull in race 8 really incinerated a lot of tickets, but the pick 6 was hit by a couple of people. 49,000 plus to both of them, so congratulations. Wow. And we hope that was you. And for Todd Pletcher and Javier Castellano. And Pletcher was on hand, in fact, saddled that filly in the paddock, but he gets another win with Javier Castellano as we take a look at the rider standings. Leads all jockeys at Belmont. What's his greatest attribute?
I tell you the truth, I think it's the fact that I really can't pinpoint a weakness. He does everything well. There's nothing that I could say, well, he does this, I wish he did that better. He's just a complete all-around rider, and his confidence level has been at an all-time high. He's been a lot of fun to watch.
He's looking for his 3rd consecutive Belmont Fall riding title. Would appear odds-on, and the same could be said for trainer Chad Brown, who won the title in 12, 13, and is right back, and in fact, eclipsed the 26 wins that he scored here a year ago at Belmont Park.
And he's not done yet, and Chad is just hitting on all cylinders and winning with all kinds of horses, and I liked his one pre-entry at the Breeders' Cup. Bobby's Kitten, 6.5 down the hill. I love that move.
We look forward to seeing the 3-year-old Bobby's Kitten sprinted down the hill, a race you know what it takes to win. And just 2 claims on the afternoon bookends. We have the firster for Tony Dutrow, claimed out of the opener by Chad Brown and the Ramseys and Sing Fitz. Speaking of Bobby's Kitten, and Queen to Be a 4-way shake in the last.
Yeah, and it made sense. You thought there would be a shake for Queen to Be. I could have seen it actually being even more, but let's see how she does for her new connections.
And we'll see all of you after our final little rest on this sloppy Wednesday edition of Belmont Insider. You've got it locked on MSG Plus, and we are back in just a sec.
Now's the time to sign up for a Naira Rewards account with our new Bet 100, Get 100 bonus. We want to deposit $100 into the accounts of new signups during the Belmont Fall Championship meet. Just enroll, bet $100, and you'll receive $100 in your account the next day. It's that easy. Plus, new signups can access the brand new Naira HD app and watch live streaming races on their smartphones. Sign up today on track or at NairaRewards.com.
The promise of a new day tomorrow. The forecast looks a little dicey. We don't want to lie, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. We hope for the best. Turf racing, perhaps. We've got 4 days remaining. Richard Migliori, Jason Blewett, glad you have stayed with us on this chilly edition of Belmont Insider. Let's preview tomorrow's 7th race make. We begin with the good-looking first-out effort with Energy Spirit.
Yeah, Energy Spirit ran big, and when do you get that kind of price on a Todd Pletcher horse, let alone a Todd Pletcher first-time starter with his main man, Johnny Velasquez, aboard? This horse was very impressive. He actually has a pedigree that says he would mud, but off of this debut, if it's not on the grass, I wouldn't expect to see him.
Blew the brake, but was very professional thereafter. Took advantage of a pace that did fall apart. We'll keep our fingers crossed that we're on the turf. Darley, Keir McLaughlin, and Sublime. It was pretty good, actually. You might say he was Sublime in his turf debut.
Yeah, Sublime took him till his 7th start to break his maiden, but this was a very good run for him. Here's a horse, though, if it did come off, they probably should run him in the mud because he's run well enough on the dirt to say he would be pretty tough.
Yep, Kieran always a threat, and that horse has got some early speed. I thought the main track was very fair and even throughout the day. Shug is in the mix with Joel and a layoff horse named Ironicus, and I wonder, Distorted Humor, Megan's Joy, if the best is yet to come with this guy.
Yeah, it seems like the family, as well as most of Shug McGaughey's horses, get better with age, so you would expect him to really hit his stride when he turns 4, 5, and beyond. Who knows? But this is what you get on Belmont Park on any given day. Here's a Thursday afternoon. You got Kieran McLaughlin, Todd Pletcher, Shug McGahee. It's quality through and through every racing card every day here at
Again,
Belmont.
we don't know if we'll be on the turf, and if we are, it's probably soft. What's it like, though, for some of these more lightly raced horses when they haven't been on a ground that has a lot of give to it?
Yeah, some of them either handle it or they don't. I don't think there's any way to prepare them for it. Sometimes it's just physically how they're made. If they have a big flat foot and they don't get down into it too much, or they're a big heavy horse, they get down into it more. You can never tell with any certainty, but they have to do it, and that's how you find out.
Big field of state breds in race number 8, carded for the main. We like that, and we get the Gridley here, who's coming in off a career best performance a few weeks ago for Ken McPeak.
Yeah, and Ken McPeak, it's funny, he hasn't had that much of a presence in New York over the years, but he seems like he's made a real effort, and he's had a terrific meet, winning at a very high percentage. This horse was coming off the turf last time, and he delivered with a resounding victory under Joel Rosario. Could be very tough right back.
Horsey beat Futurazzo, did not return to run well earlier today in the slot. Maybe it's apples and oranges. We'll see. Cousin Michael well posted on the outside for David Jacobson.
Yeah, and I always like that outside post going the one-turn races here. He's got speed. He doesn't need the lead, but he's going to be up close, and he should be stalking from the outside. So you'd have to think Cousin Michael is going to be tactically at an advantage.
And he is a 4-time winner from 19 starts, knows what it takes to get it done. Now, Bluegrass Flash is coming in off a win, stepping up in class. When you were riding, did you always look at the jump from state bred non-winners of 1 to non-winners of 2 as a pretty big jump up in class?
It is a big jump. You know, you're not running against restricted anymore. It's open to everybody. It is tougher. This horse, it took him a while to win this condition. You would look at it, if you were on a horse that marched right through his New York bred conditions, you knew he was going to be able to step up and take on the open division. But this horse took him a little while to do it. Obviously, you can't count Christopher Clement off with anything right now. He is just doing so well with all his horses.
Groupthink gets the acid test, and they do their best to get out of the way, but they're not going to stay out of the way of us. It's Andy and Maggie with who to look for tomorrow afternoon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, we got to stay on the dirt, because with the weather around here, it's pretty iffy, obviously, for turf racing. But I like a horse in the dirt. I like a horse in Thursday's third race, and it's the 7 Summerhouse. Summerhouse took a ton of money in her debut, which is unusual for a Belmont first-time star. She flashed extreme speed before tiring very, very badly. Well, she comes back with Lasix, which indicates that perhaps she bled in her last start, and she'll need a Lasix. She took too much money for a Belmont first-time starting 2-year-old to ignore, and I'm hoping that Summerhouse, stretching out to a mile, is a much different horse and runs the money that she took in her debut in the third race on Thursday.
Paddock Insider time for the Thursday card, guys. And I'm going to take a look at race 6. Number 6 is Detail for our leading trainer at the meet, Chad Brown. Now, Detail's going to switch it up here with surfaces as far as turf to dirt in the second start of her career. She did not run well at all, this daughter of City Zip, first time out sprinting on the turf. But I felt as though she was very much more of a dirt sprinter. In fact, that's kind of what I wrote down, and I liked her that day. Now, it encourages me that these connections of Paul Pompa and Chad Brown don't just automatically drop this filly off of a very disappointing effort as the beaten favorite first time out. I like that they try her in a maiden special weight. That gives me confidence in Detail, as she is your Paddock Insider for today. Guys?
All about the lightly raced second-time starting 2-year-olds for both Andy and Maggie tomorrow afternoon. Belmont, Chad Brown for both of them. Now, with Belmont, why are his second-time starting maidens so dangerous?
Well, I think because he doesn't really crank them up for the first start. He gets them ready, they're fit, but he doesn't have them prepared to win. He wants to build off the first race. Another trainer, horses get better with racing. You're not going to see the best of them first time. It's a career, not one race.
We saw your best. Safe trip out to the West Coast, my friend. We'll catch up with you at the Big A. Have a great Breeders' Cup.
Great, looking forward to it.
All right, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Belmont Insider.